Alright, so this would be my visual aid. Not that. Motor vehicles are huge contributors to global climate change and pollution. The automobile industry has evolved over time to become more environmentally friendly by improving the engine, putting laws in place, and making greener factories. Almost all of us drive, and it's important to know the harmful effects of vehicle emissions on the environment. First, I'll be talking about the evolution of the engine and how it has become more efficient. Then I'll talk about the laws put in place to make vehicles produce fewer emissions. And finally, I'll be talking about how factories have become more efficient and are producing fewer emissions. To begin, there are many types of engines, but for the sake of this speech, we will be talking about the most common engine, the internal combustion engine. The engine works by using some kind of fuel to create a controlled explosion in the engine to rotate the shaft. According to Stone 2015, the internal combustion engine can be traced back to 1680, when a Dutch scientist composed an engine using gunpowder to create the explosion. Ever since the first engine was created, people have been racing to try to improve the engine to be more efficient. Now we are able to produce engines that are able to get 50+ miles per gallon. With modern technology, manufacturers are able to create filters that can break down most of the carbon emitted by engines from burning fuel. These filters are extremely effective and are required by law to be on all automobiles. In addition to making engines more efficient, laws have been put in place to force manufacturers to make their vehicles produce less pollution. According to Gilman 2008, automobiles are responsible for 17.8% of the world's energy-related greenhouse gas emissions. Ever since the creation of the automobile, the government has been working hard to restrict vehicle emissions to reduce the harm on the environment. The Federal Clean Air Act of 1963 gave California the unique ability to set automobile emission standards more strict than federal standards in their state. Since the act, 11 other states have adopted it. As a result, these states have put in place stricter laws which have made a significant impact on the amount of emissions that automobiles produce. With Pennsylvania being one of the states to adopt the Clean Air Act, one major law that has been put in place is the PA Emissions Inspections Program. The law states that any motor vehicle 1996 or newer must pass an emission test every year to be able to legally drive on the road. According to the state of Pennsylvania, the emission inspection program is customized to meet the specific air quality issues in PA. Now, 33 states require vehicles to pass an annual emissions test. While laws have been put in place to reduce vehicle emissions, factories have also adapted to become more efficient and not produce as much emissions. Factories are responsible for a huge percentage of the world's greenhouse gas emissions, especially car manufacturers. Car manufacturers around the world have adopted many methods in order to produce vehicles without producing as much greenhouse gas. According to Donaldson, by 2025, cars will be made up of mostly aluminum. Since aluminum is so lightweight and malleable, it is easier to make car parts out of. This means that it will take less energy and fossil fuels to produce these parts. Factories will produce parts at a faster rate while also producing less pollution. Another thing that car manufacturers are doing is moving to renewable energy sources to power their factories. Audi is one of the first manufacturers to have a factory powered 100% on renewable energy. The factory's roof is covered with solar panels which provide 3,000 megawatt hours of electricity per year. This is enough energy to power 3 million homes. Because factories are becoming greener, it is not only helping to reduce the amount of greenhouse gas emissions, but also reduce the cost of operation for these manufacturers. I could go on forever about all of the things that the automobile industry is doing to be more environmentally friendly. Car manufacturers around the world are working hard to produce more environmentally friendly vehicles and factories. By improving the engine to become more efficient, establishing laws to regulate emissions, and building factories that are greener than ever, the automotive industry is becoming less of a contributor to global climate change. While the automobile industry is taking great strides to become more green, there is plenty that must be done to achieve a truly green industry.